Today I fucked up by breaking my Taco Bell record and ruining someone's day. Sorry for formatting, I'm on mobile. So this actually happened pre-COVID, but I've been too embarrassed to ever post this, even with a throwaway. But here we go. I am a uni student and like most who I know, love Taco Bell. I am always trying to beat my record of how many Doritos Locos Tacos I can eat in one sitting. For a long time, my record was 14. One day after a track meet, I was starving and decided to try my hand at breaking my record with a few friends. After straining myself for a solid 30 minutes, I tapped out at 17 tacos. I was thrilled. On the way back to the dorms, I felt my stomach begin to grumble. It felt like someone was playing the drums inside me. I needed to use the bathroom ASAP and there was no way I was going to make it back to my dorm. Closest bathrooms were at the athletic center and I ran as fast as I could with my ass cheeks clenched as tightly as physically possible while my friends laughed after me. I reached the bathrooms in the athletic center but the men's room was taped off for maintenance. My only option was to use the women's room. My friend F went inside to make sure it was empty and stood watch while I ran to the nearest stall. My ass cheeks were so sweaty from clenching them shut for so long that when I slammed down on the seat, I slipped off and landed on the floor with my ass facing the gap of the divider to the next stall. I exploded into the next stall in a blast that would rival any military bomb. My heart dropped as someone in the next stall screamed, "What the F-K?" Exclamation mark. The person in the next stall hadn't answered when my friend went in to ask if anyone was in the bathroom. They ran out of the bathroom swearing. After finishing cleaning myself up and cleaning up the floor the best I could while rushing to get out of there, I left the bathroom to see my friend sitting outside the door, confused. She told me that a girl ran out of the bathroom, stinking of shit, and ran to the showers in the room across from the bathrooms. Too long didn't read. I broke my Taco Bell Doritos Locos Taco record and accidentally shit on the person in the next stall. A true Baja Blast. You had me smiling at first, and I left terrified. I'm so sorry. Have an upvote. Now you gotta get to 20. It's more funny if you picture it from the other person's view. There I am peacefully using the toilet when I see someone's ass poke under the stall next to me and crapped all over my foot. I feel like this story cannot possibly be true, but it doesn't matter, because damn. Till always make sure you have an exit plan before engaging in risky behavior. Today I fucked up by pointing at the wrong girl at the park. To start, English isn't my first language. I'm 32 with a 7-year-old daughter. I'm colorblind. I sometimes mix up blue and green. My daughter wanted to go to the park, so she put some clothes on and we went off. I thought she had blue on. We get to the park and I sit on the bench. I was the first one there when about 10 people showed up sometime later. One lady in particular showed up and started talking to me. She asked which child was mine's. I pointed in my daughter's direction and said the girl with the blue shirt. The woman laughed and acted shocked. I didn't understand why she would be shocked. Like an idiot I doubled down and said I'm about to take her home in a couple of minutes. The woman stopped laughing and immediately got up and went to the other group of parents. I don't know what she told them, but they all just stared me down. I felt uncomfortable, so I got up and went to my daughter to tell her it's time to go. She started making a scene saying she didn't want to go. I guess the other group of parents had enough because 3 of the dude came up to me and told me to put my daughter down. The other parents called the cops. I spent a whole 10 minutes arguing with these dudes about her being my daughter. They said I was lying because I told the other lady the girl with the blue shirt was my daughter. I later learned that the blue shirt girl was one of the dude's daughter. I told them I was colorblind, but they didn't want to hear it. They wouldn't let me leave, but the police came eventually. The parents told their side and I told the police my side. Eventually I showed them pictures of my daughter. Police still didn't believe me, so I had to call my wife to come pick up my daughter. The whole time my wife was on the way I was getting rude looks. The police were pretty aggressive, saying my wife needs to hurry up. In the end everything was resolved when my wife got there. I never got an apology and they just told me to leave. All that hassle only because I didn't check my daughter clothes at home. Too long didn't read. I'm colorblind and thought my daughter was wearing a blue shirt at the park, but it was green. I tell park lady I'm about to take a kid with a blue shirt home. I grab my daughter, she make a scene and the police is called. Go back to this same park with your daughter every day. Say hello to everyone who judged you. I have a 3-year-old daughter, and let me tell you, I feel real freaking weird whenever I take her to a busy playground without my wife. I'll typically be the only guy there, and I'm convinced that all of the moms are suspicious of me. Like I don't even know how to act normal. It's real weird. My brother-in-law was at the park with his son and there was a mom there with 3 kids, and all he said to her was, "One is hard enough. I can't imagine trying to wrangle 3. And she just glared at him like he was about to kidnap her toddlers, and she grabbed them and left the park. Some people are just, I don't even know a word for it. Oh my god, this is awful. I'm so sorry. I can't believe that your wife had to come and help you out. If you were a single dad, I don't want to imagine. In situations like this, I'd like to assume some additional verification was done before handing off the kid to mom. I mean, he had pictures with his daughter etc., which clearly weren't enough to verify. I hope just the arrival of a vagina owner wasn't enough to convince them otherwise. Pieces of shit. It wasn't you who F you. I understand what they did a bit. Kids get abducted, but they took it way too far. I mean, if you had abducted her, why would she be at the park? How old is your daughter? Couldn't she tell them you are her dad? I see stories about this all the time. Usually it's because the parent is a different race than the child, or it's the father. I don't understand why people seem to believe dads don't take their kids to the park. I am sorry you had to go through this. Let me say it again, you are not the one who F you. And if the police had your wife on the phone, that should have been enough. Keep being a good dad. And if Op abducted her, wouldn't Op's presumed wife be an accomplice? She would be in it too. Has no logical basis behind verifying it by a person that a suspect vouches for. Today I fucked up by leaving out my edibles, which my mom thought was cake. I haven't made edibles in a long time as I'm not a fan of the aftertaste, but with the impact of COVID, I wanted to reduce smoking to preserve my lungs. This time though, with the help of friends, I made brownies that not only tasted good but were also very strong enough where only half a brownie was needed to get really high. One night out, I ate 2/3 of the edible. Upon returning home completely baked, I casually saran wrapped what was left and put it at the corner of my desk. I was meaning to store it away in a box or away from view, but ended up knocking out. What makes the situation worse is that the night before, the family celebrated a birthday and we still had chocolate cake left over. Everything goes fine the next morning and I noticed that the third of remaining brownie was gone. I thought that it was tossed away as what remained was a few pieces and a crumbly mess. 2 hours later, I get a call from my mom's boss telling me that she is very sick. I rushed over to help and was able to bring mom back home. During the car ride back she said that she felt very dizzy and was losing sensation, mentioning that her colleagues were about to call the paramedics. Mom mentioned that she thought she was having a stroke and was retracing her morning when she casually let out that she finished off the cake on my desk. Everything clicks into place and I realize it was all just from the brownie, so I gave her reassurance and took care of her. Mom is still freaking out thinking she had a brush with death, but after a couple hours, some rest and food, she feels back to normal. TL, doctor got really stoned and left edible brownies on my table. Mom thought it was chocolate cake from few nights before and enjoyed it with coffee before work. I'm having a stroke. Nah, you're just zooted. Same thing happened to my friend too. I gave him a special chocolate chip cookie. He put it in the fridge to eat later, and then when he went looking for it the next day it was gone. Only his mom lived with him at the time, so he assumed she must have eaten it thinking it was a regular cookie. Soon after, his mom comes to tell him she feels kind of weird and thought she was sick. He explained the concept of edibles to her and helped her get comfortable enough to sleep it off. My mom didn't like weed, but somebody recommended CBD oil when it started to become legal in Texas. It really helped the nausea and anxiety that came with her medical condition. Mom was always afraid it was illegal. He had to keep reassuring her, as did her hospice nurses, that it was perfectly fine. It's advertised right out in the open and everything. One time I held her hand, looked her in the eyes, and said, "Mom, even if it were illegal, nobody is going to arrest an 84-year-old lady for having it." Real talk toe, why did she think it was a good person move to go in your room, eat the last of your cake while you're sleeping and then not tell you? PFFFFFFFD goddamn be more careful. I just read this same story a few days ago. Or I've just been consuming way too much Reddit. He posted it in r/confessions and r/offme just 4 days ago word for word. He's trying yo squeeze as much karma as he can from it.